Civics, they're pretty boring. As far as history goes, I mean, you know, they didn't really start getting interesting until the Type R era. Let's just be honest here. However, we need to really acknowledge and recognize something that not many people care to really talk about, or if they even know. And right now I'm in a 1992 Honda Civic hatchback, SI trim, Canadian model to be specific. And not a lot of people know that this is the base of the EC2 Integra, the chassis that everybody loves, world-renowned, you know, road course monster. Now, what I really want people to understand is that the reason why this chassis is not as, well, let's just be honest, competitive, because of the wheelbase. So I just want to remind everybody that these cars are just short Integras, or the Integra is just a long version of this. So in my eyes, the EG Civic or EH Civic or wherever it, whatever it's called, wherever you are in the world, needs to be in the same breath as the AE86 Hachiroku. To those that know what I mean by that, I think you'd appreciate that comparison. Short wheelbase, constantly tries to kill you in the corners. If it's not understeering, it's constantly wanting to oversteer and turn you into a dreidel. And so what I need people to really appreciate about these cars is that even though there were so many made, and we do not need any more showroom examples, there are plenty of them around this planet if you really wanted to go see a really good example. And today, for those of you who already know, I have a B18C with a front-wheel drive transmission, of course, because it's front-wheel drive. However, as you can see, I'm using a K-series shifter box, specifically a K-tuned unit. Now, I've had a lot of people, not as many, but I mean, I've had a lot of people sit there and criticize and say, oh, it's a trick. You know, this is just camera magic. Or that I'm using a all-wheel drive transmission with the PTO just disengaged. PTU, I'm sorry. But I can assure you, this thing feels, and I'm going to say it like how Richard Hammond said it one time, this feels like you actuating a bolt-action rifle. That's just the feel I get. Within the next gear's range for the actual gear to engage. And so a lot of people just think that, you know, forcing the gear in is going to get you more time. If the damage that it costs you, and if anything, you actually get it in that gear, it's worth it, then okay. So with this unit, with this adapter that I've made, the throw left to right, front to back, is about a third of what I would say original was. purpose of that, obviously, is to reduce the amount of time you have to spend shifting. Because let's be honest here, everybody knows DSG, you know, a double clutch gearbox, yes, it'll outshift, you know, 90% of manuals. I understand that. That's not the argument here. The argument here is that this makes the older B series chassis and the single cam D series chassis, it makes it feel like it's a brand new car. And I mean, it is so hard for me to describe it in any other way other than when you're sitting in the car, if you did not know that this car was how old it is, but you drove it, it would not feel, I mean, and let's be honest, people probably think it's a K series just because of the shifter. Well, having said that, a lot of people are going, I don't like how the K series cable shifter feels. It's like it's dead or it's numb. But this isn't a K series. And I'm going to be honest, for those of you who are paying attention, you will notice this shifter is not in its OEM location. So for the inquiring minds, this only came about because I got tired of leaning over and having to use my left. I did it for years. I'm 36 years old. I used to drive cars around, manuals specifically, obviously, shifting with my left. Clutch in, shift with my left. And I did it for a decade, over a decade. And I had a K-swap black Honda Civic. And the difference is, with a K-series engine and transmission, the cables are really only designed, you know, to fit in a certain area at a certain location, because that's just how the design is. Why are you not going on the shoulder to pass this guy? It's a paved shoulder. It's always a Volvo 850. Come on. Now anyways, if you watch the shifter real quick, this is second gear, I'm gonna go into third. Now I'll go into fourth. And fifth. Now again, I made this shifter adapter because I got tired of having to reach over with my left. And having said that, it was kind of an aha moment, okay? I want to go racing. I want to drive this car on the track. I can't be taking the only full hand I have off the wheel to shift gears. And then everybody was going, well, just buy an automatic. Buy something with the flappy paddles. Those are cool. I got nothing against any vehicle with a flappy paddle transmission. I don't. I love them. I you know, they're fun. They have their purpose. But you cannot beat this. Going through my own gears. Actually being in charge, you know? Deciding what the car does. These are the very few things you can get away with being that kind of person, if you know what I'm saying. Demanding something, you know, and getting a response out of it instantly. Something that you don't find a lot. And again, all these new race cars, yeah, they're fun. You know, I get it. It's become about setting lap records and personal bests. And the whole point of, I guess, the experience, it's kind of vanished. It's all become just the show scene, I guess, and the ultimate top trumps for numbers. making vehicles that we would want a manual in. The question begs though, just like what the car did to the horse, and it saved the horse. I'm starting to think that all these new electric and hybrids are going to be what saves these, what allows these cars to continue to exist and, you know, allowed to be driven. Because let's be honest here, where does all the brake dust and the tire rubber go? Just think about it. Where does all the exhaust gas and the brake dust and the spent tire rubber, where does it go? Our roads would be black, covered, pitch black, if it was like the drag strips, but it's not. So in my defense, I can kind of support us having, and dare I say it, a restriction on what we consider fun, for the sake of us remembering what fun is, or was. So if any of you actually like what you see in this content, I mean, I'm not just going to be driving around randomly talking and rambling about random stuff here, but I mean, I'm going to have to come up with a name for this. I just hope the footage actually plays back nicely, to be honest. Kids, stay in school if you can afford to. If you can afford to. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, share with your friends, and remember, please drive safe.